Oh, that's too much.
Just do like 5 minutes of laughing, a laugh track. Get the old friends.
Oh, fucker. Oh my god. Compose yourself. Oh, I watched an interview with Billy Connolly recently, and he started to cry, and then he goes, "Stop it, Billy!" Like talking to himself, but he talks like he's talking to the his wife, and he starts to get emotional, and then
Is his wife the
"Stop it,
camera?
Billy!" No, his wife's interviewing him, and he goes, "Stop it, Billy!" And then he comes back and he's normal. And I'm like, that's some technique. No wonder he got nominated for an Oscar.
Well, welcome to the String Ninjas podcast. It has been a while. We've been on a bit of a hiatus, a low-hiatus, because Mick has not. Yeah. He finally got out of Santa Ponza, a fag run.
My arsehole is in
yeah. 3-finger fucking search party.
Yeah, say what you want, powder gloves. They're not good.
They get rid of the itch though, don't they?
So this podcast is brought to you by Talc.
Talc. Give your arsehole a dry while also simultaneously giving you cancer.
Speaking of which, I really should have talked up yesterday. I did a 20-kilometre hike with my two best mates yesterday, and my goodness,
Fusty.
I am chafing today.
Fusty.
Chafing, sir.
I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, do you ever have like too much flesh in your trunks?
Never struggled.
Do you ever have an
only when it's been fat?
Do you ever have a sweaty bag?
No.
Do you ever have a fusty bag? I think every like teenager, like from you're like 16 to like.
Careful, Andrew.
No, Andrew likes a bit of a fust. He wouldn't discourage a fust on the bag. That's how he knows it's in his mouth. But like every teenager, well, every man from like 16 to 30, maybe 40, has had one summer of a sweaty bag syndrome, where like it's just been that warm and clammy that you've been wearing fucking jeans, despite it being that warm and clammy, that you've got a bag on you like fucking like RuPaul's fucking handbag,
Yeah.
big fink, fucking fusty thing.
I didn't really want to divulge that on the airwaves. So yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not even going to repeat what I read out before we started recording. Mm-hmm. That's one of the funny.
See, do you ever watch
William Thompson? You are a brilliant man.
Did you ever watch Alan Partridge? Yes. Mid Morning Matters. Do you ever see those ones? Like where he has Psychic Simon on the thing.
I can't think so.
They're like on air, and Psychic Simon's like, "Oh, I've got a joke," and Alan's like, while they're on air, Alan's like, "Let me read it." So he reads it. Alan bursts out laughing, like tears streaming down his face, and he goes, Psychic Simon goes, "Do you want me to say it out on air?" And he goes, No. He's like, "No, you can't say that." That's exactly what it was like.
Alan Partridge censorship? Nah,
I found on YouTube his audiobook. Like, I've read the book, but
Alan Partridge's or Steve Coogan's?
Alan Partridge's. We need to talk about Alan. So it's basically like his childhood growing up. But when I was reading it, I was doing a bit of travelling, and I was reading it in his voice, but I was like phrasing it differently as I was reading it. But I was like, fuck, I wonder what I've missed out, what jokes I've missed or misinterpreted. So I was listening back to the audiobook, found it, the full thing on YouTube, and fuck man, it's hilarious. Actually having him, the character, read it out about like his son, how his son was born, or how his son was named Fernando. His name's Fernando Partridge. Yeah. So basically he's in the hospital, and he's holding the son in his arms, and he's like looking out on the fucking out onto the mirrors or whatever the fuck is next to the hospital, and he's like, "Oh, I remember it clearly. There was a fog in the air, and then the stars were bright." Fernando. It's just like just fucking so stupid. Like, there was something in the air that night.
I would love for us to cover some ABBA. Let's talk about music. We used to talk about music. No,
I fucking hate music now.
But see if you break down.
Let's talk about your number one fucking dance hit.
Oh, yeah,
Nick loves anal. If you haven't seen it, check
Oh,
it
I
out.
thought you were talking Whistle Monkeys.
Whistle Monkeys. Oh no, that was your number. That was your number one dance move.
Oh, that's me. But my dance hit, my Eurotrash.
No, to put me in mind of. So basically, for anybody who doesn't know, I was sticking about with some old footage and trying to edit like.
Don't talk about dicking about anal.
No, it's not a laughing matter. You know, it's a serious subject. And so basically I was looking at old footage and I was like, oh, there's only so much I could do with this. But you had said in it, I'm drinking out of a cup that says I love anal on it.
Yes.
And I was like, I wonder how clean I could get that sample. And it was just perfect.
I should clarify, so because what nobody will know is I didn't know that that's what the cup said.
It was a joke
It was
cup.
one of those joke cups that whenever you put the hot water in,
It changes.
it was
Funny,
a
do you know
message.
what? Because I remember when we first seen it, it wasn't even the fact that it said "I love anal." It was that wasn't the cup you were drinking. You know, it completely changed. It was a black cup,
Yeah.
and then it had completely changed
But
into this white cup.
By the end of the podcast, it had gone black again.
Yeah, it was confusing as fuck.
Yeah, because I have. Well, I used to have a cup like that used to change with the temperature, but I had never seen one that does.
What did yours say? You know,
I can't remember. I think it was something poly related as well.
Rimmons number one.
But I know that was just genuinely the funniest. I have nothing to do with that. I get so much credit for stuff that we do that I have nothing to do with.
But I was all because I was like, because we're not really active on the page anymore. I was like, because we're waiting on stuff being mixed and mastered and all that bollocks before we post anything. So I was like, right, I need to put up a couple of pictures. And then one of your mates was responding to the picture, and I responded to him, and he was like, "Ha, nice one, Mick." And I was like, "There's two of us, you know, you fucking cunt. I'm here too."
Well, that was Donald. That was from the Arigal. You know the fellow who always drank the Guinness and always used to sing along to the Kinks with your man from Casablanca.
Aye, that's it.
Yeah.
So was that who that was?
That's who that is. That's
right,
Donald,
there you go.
Aye, so.
I know how to fucking slap when I get to see him. He's a painter. Fuck, I'll decorate his face. Come here.
But no, I know people do that. They seem to think that I'm the brains, man. I'm like, no, I'm just simply the good looks.
I said you're just the muscle. Yeah. I get you in there just to do the heavy lifting. Right.
I can't do that. So I fell down Cave Hill yesterday, and I'm an agony.
The whole way down.
Well, it might as well have been. I took a coming down Devil's Slide. One foot went off, and then the other foot went, and then I went up in the air, and then gravity, when you're on an incline like that, doesn't say go down, it says squishy, like that, and my back isn't.
Nice bit of physics there for the listeners.
For anyone, actually, funny enough, speaking about physics, I did.
What did you do?
I did a Big Bang Theory quiz on Friday night.
Fuck, that must have been heinous.
Just for a laugh, I thought I'm gonna have a go at it. Right, first round, smashed it. Way ahead of everybody. Second round, still top, but wasn't much of a lead. Third round, fell to sort of mid-table, and then fourth round, I was nowhere. But I was like,
what was the progression of the? Was it like
it got progressively hard. All the questions got
no, but was it like per season or was it like per category?
Oh, no,
it was just like,
it was just all
pulled out from
everywhere.
everywhere.
There was no structure. It just got progressively more. Like one of them was the fourth one was Penny's father drove over her pet pig with his tractor. What was the name of that pig?
Oh fuck! I should know that too. I can't even think of it. You put me on it. I can't handle the pressure. Moondance,
which I couldn't remember.
Moondance, there you go.
But there was loads of random questions like that, like what was the name of such and such's hamster? And you know, all weird, like
very specific.
What's Mrs. Wallowitz's first name? And the amount of people who put M for Mrs. I did. I think, does it ever come up?
Debbie.
It comes up once. Debbie.
No.
Stuart. Because
coming, Debbie.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was going.
Yeah.
Sick.
But because I just thought I'd do it for a laugh. It was like £2 to enter, and there was a prize of I can't remember what the prize was. I thought, you know what?
Never having to watch Big Bang Theory again, probably.
But you know what? It was funny because I mean we saw Big Bang Theory before. You hate the women in it, which is fair enough.
No, I don't. Oh, I do. I hate the way they're written. I hate the way they're written because they're bad people. Yeah. But then I just realized I was reading actually something on that the other day. It was like it was a historical context, and it was basically like when you realize all the fucking the women characters and all these certain novels and certain things are all bastards. Because the men that wrote the novels hated women. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, I wonder if Chuck Lorre and fucking Hing hated.
No, 100%. But with Big Bang Theory, like basically once Sheldon loses his virginity, I lose interest in it because the show loses its magic because they've all got their hold.
They're all
They're all
fucking.
getting married. It's pointless now.
They're all.
That's not what the show was
The whole
about.
point. The whole point. The funniest thing was Howard was a dirty bastard.
Yeah. Genuinely, his impressions were amazing. But so there's like a point where I just like if I can rewatch Friends, like, but I'll get the season. See when I get there was season 5 or 6. I go back to the start again. I can't be arsed with the later seasons. Same with Big Bang Theory. There comes a point, but like it's my like in bed show where I'm just like I just want something on the TV.
You're trying to knock one out, and you fucking
exactly. But
season 3, Rachel.
But I was interested to see how much I had picked up through osmosis, and I did pretty well. But yeah, there was some of it where I was like, all right, and the people who were getting all the winner just fucking stormed out, and I was like, all right, mate, you really need to get a life. That's
he
sad.
stormed out.
Stormed away into the lead.
Oh right. I thought you meant like he won. He was like, I fucking hate myself and ran away.
No. It was just I couldn't believe it because the questions I was like I literally have no recollection of this ever being a thing.
It's not a detail you take in.
I was expecting to go. When does Sheldon do his laundry? Saturday night. Saturday night.
Does his laundry. No, I fucking I did a partridge quiz before in the black box as a last minute thing, and hosted it and like did the whole thing. And one of the things was I was like in every round I did. There was like the ultimate question that was designed for nobody to get, like very few people. And one of the ones I got, I was like, because like there were it wasn't like the rounds got harder. It was like there were some easy questions in it. There were some hard questions in each round, and then the ultimate question was like I don't expect anybody to get this. And one of the questions that I remember doing was, what is on the speed rail in the bar in the hotel? There's 5 spirits on it. Nobody fucking got it, like, because you wouldn't have. It was only in there. Like he's only in that bar.
I'm gonna guess there would be a brandy.
Well, there was one. Well, I can't even remember.
3 barrels.
No,
something cheap.
There was it was random. There was some drinks I'd never even heard of. I actually went back and looked and was like, "Fuck, I don't know." But there was one that was that Gordon's gin.
Yeah.
Because he got it topped up with a segment of lemon and some mineral water.
Last thing I'll say about quizzing is because like Zoom quizzing is the kind of thing now. So I have a mate who runs the quizzes and he uses software called speed quizzing. And like it was even before lockdown and all. It was a thing that was on in bars. Like there would be a quiz on, but you'd have to use your phone. So then you couldn't cheat because you were on the app, so you couldn't Google stuff. And because it was speed quizzing, you had like 10 seconds to answer, so you literally had no time. So but he had said to me that he had it in his head, and I agreed with it. He says, I think there's people cheating. So there's one person sitting on their phone ready to do the thing, and then the other person is either on their phone or they have an Alexa or something like that there. So before he asks the question, they're going Alexa, and then blah 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 blah.
And he says it,
and then it comes out with the answer because everyone's muted. You don't know what's coming back. So he had said this to me, and I went, I have an idea, because I would do quite well in his quiz, and it if you get the fastest answer, you get bonus points, and then your name gets called if you get the fastest answer. So I changed my quiz name to Alexa, play the Wurzels. So every time I get a fastest answer, it would set off people's Alexas and play the Wurzels, so then they'd switch off their Alexas. And so that was on his. But on the one I did one last week with one of the top quizzers in that sort of community. And I got there was fucking classical music round, mate. I was like, oh yes,
but you had to get well in that, or else you fucking
it, right? But I when I got the first fastest answer I got, because I hadn't had a fastest answer all the way through the quiz until classical music, and I got the fastest answer, and he went, Alexa, play the Wurzels. And his Alexa went off, and then other people's Alexas went off, and then I got the next fastest answer, and he went, Alexa, play, and he went, no, and then he had to stop.
Here, shoot. Mick has set off my Alexa in the fucking kitchen. wait there. Alexa! Don't even don't listen to me. Don't fucking listen to me. Alexa! Fuck up! She said she'd rather not, so I did what I do with most women. I turned her off.
We're keeping that in.
That's a good. Now I know where to edit this. that could not have been
That
better
was
timed,
amazing.
mate.
But no, genuinely, so that's what I was doing. I originally
Fuck me.
changed my name to deter people
Whisper
from
it.
cheating. So then, but when I kept getting the fastest answer, the quiz master was like, "I'm not reading out your name again." So he would just call me like Alex
Aye.
or something, or he wouldn't give me the full name. So then for the next quiz, I changed my name to Siri. Play the Wurzels. Siri,
Did you ever see?
play the Wurzels.
Have you ever seen? Fuck.
That's right, my phone's
Have
off.
you ever seen the episode of South Park when Alexis first came out? Man, you couldn't have written that. Like you could not have timed that.
Oh my
Welcome
God.
back. Fucking infecting all the devices in my house.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
Did
Jesus Christ.
you ever watch South Park with Alexis?
I'm not a South Park guy.
Man, they did. They're fucking Trey Parker and Matt Stone are geniuses. They did an episode because Alexis had just become the big thing,
Yeah.
and everybody had them. So basically, they had an episode where Cartman and all the kids are like, Alexa, add scrotum to my shopping list.
Yeah.
But again, it was activating all people's Alexas that were watching it. So all these people were getting like these shopping lists, like fucking booger balls and all this
That was
fucking shit on it. But,
I was seriously outstanding. Anyway, so that was a hell of
because
a...
I see what you said. All I heard was beep beep. And I was like, what the fuck is that? But I told her to fuck up. She went, I'd rather not.
I know. Anyway, so I want an intro. So to address the elephant in the room, why I've not been here.
Fake run. Fucking
Figure
Santa
off the
Claus.
rat, no. So my dad has lung cancer. He has the big C, not the new fashionable C that everybody else is getting.
I heard he does have a big C.
Hey,
Anyway,
well,
you know,
you need to ask me.
happily married man.
man.
Well, married man anyway.
But anyway, no. So he was diagnosed there before Christmas, and they had basically said that it was operable, curable. I don't know what the terminology they use. So anyway, he was to go. He went in for he's 3.5 weeks post surgery now. So for the 2 weeks leading up to his surgery, I had to isolate with him
I couldn't do
and my
shit.
mum, so I couldn't go out or see because I was busy. I had to be the chauffeur,
Mm.
and then whenever he was to come home again, I would have to be the chauffeur and then help with caring for him. So I had to be very, very careful.
Were you getting all your Asda deliveries, were you, to the house?
No,
and all?
yeah, pretty
So
much.
everything was fucking
Asda
wrong.
Iceland, Asda Iceland. Got a Tesco magically, which was unbelievable.
I never got a
so,
Tesco's.
so it had to be just it was one. That's why I haven't been here. Phineas had to pick up the slack.
I know, fucking God lover.
God love her,
I
I
say,
know.
well, we were down
Big
to
shoes to film it. Size 11s,
yeah, here.
ladies. Lads.
That's
Take it-
at this stage.
At this stage, you can't touch this.
And he loves anal, so fucking.
I love anal. So,
There we go. Fucking, there's the next sample. I know, I love anal. That's it. Follow up part 2.
So anyway,
The follow through.
he's out. He's home. He's had 20% of his lung cut out. Yeah, he's in a lot of pain.
Sorry, I'm not
Yeah.
laughing at that.
I know,
It's
that's
just
right.
you just said he's out, and then I've went. So I'm gonna cut this to go. He's out, and I love anal.
You sick bastard.
That's the next thing.
That's it. Yeah, so that's So I don't know what the future prognosis is. I don't know about if he has to become radioactive man or what have you. But
The goggles do nothing. Remember that?
yeah, so that's basically where I've been. So for anyone who cares, and if you don't care, I don't care. It's alright. It's fine.
But let's use this to your advantage. If you
get sympathy sex.
get sympathy money. If anybody wants to donate the fucking mixed eye,
So I can ban licking and pain patches. There you go.
the NHS isn't giving them enough.
Right. There we go.
Oh Jesus, no.
Here we go. So there's a couple of thank yous I gotta put out. Right. So see the Ward 5N, the thoracic ward in the Royal, amazing. Staff are so lovely. To our, I'll call him a colleague in our industry, Dr. Niall McBride of the 9 Inch Nails.
Is he there?
Niall works in A&E at the
Okay.
Royal, and he was for the whole duration, and even leading up to the operation, was like my confidant almost.
Your go-to.
Because here's where I'm gonna get ranty in a minute.
Never.
Due to COVID restrictions, there's no visits allowed.
Aye.
I'm on board with that. I understand why. That's fine. So we weren't getting any updates. Nobody was
Well, see, that's
telling us
different.
anything.
It's different.
We
We did
didn't
ringing
know.
you at least once a week.
Yeah,
Fucking,
we didn't know anything. All we were getting was my 69-year-old father confused over Skype, trying to remember a terminology he'd heard whilst he had a fucking gaping hole in his back and his chest, trying to tell us what had happened to him and like how he was feeling and how he was progressing. We were getting nothing, absolutely nothing. So we were getting snips from him. So I'd be messaging Niall,
Right.
fair play to Niall. He'd be coming back on. Okay, this is
can you?
what-
Did
this
he
is
nip
what
it up and have a
no,
wee look
no,
at the
he
chart?
no, he can't go up.
Oh no! Oh, because
You're in your ward.
And
You're
that's
not
it?
allowed to go in the other wards. That's the way it's all segregated, and I understand that. That's fine. I get it. But I was hitting him with loads of wee snips of information, and he was piecing it all together. And he goes,
Right.
"Okay, so this is what this means. It relates to this. What they want is for it to go to this." And I was going, "Right, all right, that's good." So then I could relate to my mum, and then it sort of gave her a little bit of a peace of mind. I had the poor lad tortured, but I mean, the backstory with me and Niall is Niall's dad taught me violin.
I just imagine him whenever you're messaging him going, "Fuck, Max, about to
No.
ask me about fucking violins or something."
Niall's dad was my first ever teacher, and called back to one of our first ever episodes. Niall actually had said to me recently that he played the episode where we talk about. I think you asked me about how
I interviewed you.
he interviewed me also,
I got
and I talked about like
in depth.
my early education with music and stuff, and he said that he played that podcast for his dad,
Yeah.
and his dad fucking loved it because I made him out to sound like a mafia boss. Because I was like, we were in this really poor working class school at Ardoyne, and all these musical instruments came from somewhere. Like, where did he get them from? And but
He's robbing grannies of their fucking violas and violins.
his dad basically has, according to Niall, his dad's always thought he was a bit of an Italian. He always
Yeah.
had he
Lothario
he does
fucking-
have that sort of Don Corleone look. If you look at The Godfather, that's what
An
Paul
Irish
Craig looks like.
Godfather.
He always wears those black suits, and he's got that sort of slick back, sort of balding head, and it's sorry, Paul. Sorry,
I know downhill. He big
I
a
know,
jump in the
mate.
last one. He called it Shaq calling you a cunt in this one.
So
fuck's sake.
no, because there's people who have said to me before, do you not like hate each other? I'm like, why would we hate each other? Oh, because you're rivals. I'm like, how are we rivals? We don't take each other's gigs. There's no rival. No, we're absolutely fine. And I remember now when he was born because I think I was in P6 or P5 when he was born. But anyway,
Fuck, he's not that young.
now he's a few years younger than me. But
He's just a few years younger
I
than me.
think now about 29, 28. Anyway,
Oh, fuck me.
so but he's
I keep forgetting I'm 34
But
now.
he used to be a doctor in the ward that my dad was in, and he's now a doctor in A&E. And anyway, so yeah, he was basically helping us to sort of comprehend everything. So really, 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 really generous with his time. Because we weren't getting any info, and like I would go down to the ward and I'd go, "Can I speak to something? Can someone tell me stuff?" And you'd barely get anything. So this is where my rant is going to come.
Okay.
So I didn't realize how many medical personnel I knew, and everybody, especially like Nav was probably he was the best. He had so much time and was able to, because he had worked in that field, he was able to go X, Y, and Z. It made a wee bit of sense. And then I have like there's nurses who I know listen to this, and they would check in every so often, go, "How's your dad doing?" Blah blah blah. And then I go, "We're not getting any information." What do you mean you're not getting any information? No one phoning you? I work in a COVID ward. I have to phone people, and I'm going, "Well, they're not phoning people. What can I say?"
I know. It's like they're putting the responsibility on you to know that you should be being phoned when you're like, I fucking haven't got a clue.
So anyway, so I would go down with. For the first week, I didn't go near the hospital because I didn't think it was allowed. Turns out you are, because you can go down and drop pajamas off. And
So it's the same with Fanuta's mom when she was on.
Yeah, so I went down one day with some fresh pajamas and some little, it was like these wee chocolate rolls from Iceland, like just wee bits, just a wee care package. And I walked into the Royal, and the shop was bunged with patients and Joe Public, and I was like, that's very strange.
You think there'd be some sort of, especially in that shop, because it's literally one lane the whole way around. You can't fucking do it.
So then anyway, I'm up in the lift, and then I go to the ward and drop the dad's care package off. Then I'm going back, and I go into the lift. I hit the button, door opens. There's a fella at the back of the lift, and then I step into the lift, and the door's shut. But just as the doors are shutting, like a hand comes in to stop the door. 2 paramedics in a gurney, and the paramedic was like, "Do you mind if we jump in?" And the guy behind me went, "No, work away." I stepped out of the lift. They got in, and then the female paramedic was like, "Come on, you're okay, step in." And I went, "No, we're not."
The whole fucking point of
I
this.
stood there and I was like, "What the fuck are we doing here? Why am I and my fucking mother heartbroken not being able to visit my fucking dad,
Aye.
and we're all just in a lift together. And then it wasn't even like they were in a fucking rush. I got down to the bottom floor, and they're out in the fucking bay having a coffee with their mates and that shit. So I was like, right,
What's the bottom line going on here? Like,
so I went, what is actually going on here? And then, so see regarding the information thing, it's fucking pissed me off. So my cousin Sarah is a GP, right? And the thing is like, when someone's in for some surgery that's so major, like I'll show you the pictures. Actually, I'll show you the pictures now when I'm talking to you. These are fucking horrific.
your dad is fucking
My
back.
dad. I'll show you with that. Did I show you?
No, they cut it open the side and the back and all that shit.
I'll show you. Right?
I know a guy, a wee lad, while you're looking there, slightly funnier. He's a bit of a fucking wab, but not like a bad person. Like, yeah. I've seen those type of things before.
And that's the drain coming out of his lung, which they took out to see if his lung was ready to work on itself again.
I don't think they'll put these on the edit.
And then they had to force put the tube back in again, which it was anybody I've spoken to is like one of the worst fucking pains you ever imagined, because they can't put you out for it.
Is that so? That's in his lung.
That's in his lung.
Lovely.
So anyway, we where was I saying?
By the way, anybody that see it, it's pretty. Look him up. There must be the medical term for that or something.
He's a fucking warrior, like he really is. But yeah. So anyway, sorry, where was I on my train of thought? Yeah. So we weren't getting any information. So my cousin's a GP. Because of the severity of everything, there's a lot of information, a lot of stuff that I don't understand. Like I do feel like I'm halfway towards getting a medical degree after, because you just become
absorbed.
People say don't Google and you shouldn't Google, but then you start. But then I've been, like I say, been chatting now.
But your dad's thing was very specific. You know, it's not like, oh, I've got a cough, and they're going, well, you could have a cough or you could have testing. You know what I mean? Whatever.
This is an actual operation.
Yeah, you knew what to look up.
So anyway. So my cousin Sarah was like, look, if you want, I'll speak to his surgical team, his doctors, and I'll get all the with his authority, and I'll get all the information, and I'll basically mansplain it to you. And we were like, that's a great idea. So said to my dad, do you fancy that? And he went, no, let's do that. Because we had no idea, because originally it was like 5 to 10 days.
Because he's fucking aching and sore and alone, so he's not going to take it all in.
There's no TVs, there's no visitors, the internet's shit, he doesn't know how to...
The internet is shit in the hospital.
But I would have to go down and say to a nurse, can you get me his laptop out so I could... That's another thing. So
you could tether it or something? Or?
No. His laptop... So the only thing my dad liked to do was a wee bit of Bet 365, do a wee 20p horsey bet, and that was all. He just liked to keep his mind occupied. When he went in, like I had to phone him 4 or 5 times a day to get him connected, because we kept disconnecting. But he's not tech savvy, so then I would just go down to the hospital, say to the nurse, give me his laptop. I'd sit out in the hall, get it set up, send it back in. Then they changed the fucking parameters and they put a new network in which had PG parameters, which doesn't like gambling or streaming. So then what I had to do is then sit with him for 4 hours a day, 3 hours a day, however long he wanted to, just to keep his mind at ease, and Skype with him and screen share, and then I'd go on his bet account and say, and he'd tell me, but
you're his bookie, essentially.
I felt like it, and then I had my brother going, here, I didn't do the lottery, you do the lottery for me, and I go, fuck. But
what's that, 2 to 1 on fucking 3:30 at Chepston?
I had no problem. That's
what you do.
That's what you do. That's what you do. But anyway, about my cousin, yeah. So we had said to him, do you want to do that? And he says, yeah, no, good. So we phoned the ward after an hour of the just ringing, nobody picking up. Finally, somebody picked up, and we were like, blah, blah, blah. My niece, my cousin, here's the number. Can you get someone to call? So then they went into my dad, and they says, you have a Dr. Davies? He was like, yes, that's my niece. Can you get the doctor to phone her to say, tell what's going on, and then blah, blah, blah. And they went, no problem. So then a fucking junior doctor phoned my cousin to say, we're not telling you anything. Right? So I see the nurses, amazing. See the surgeons who worked on them, fucking magicians. Like, honestly, amazing people. See the fucking management in that place? Do they not realise the torture? The mental torture families are being put through, and patients. Do you know the hard? See, physical recovery is one thing, without mental wellness. And my dad's the calmest, most relaxed, most patient man. He's just such an amazing guy.
He is.
And my dad himself said, my dad was saying, I need to get the fuck out of here. I'm really bad anxiety. And my dad doesn't, like, ever.
It's probably just such a traumatic fucking overall
Such a traumatic experience. Stuck in a fucking hospital, can't go anywhere, can't go outside.
You tend to find people in management positions, regardless of what.
Yeah.
Like, they could be a manager of a charity, but they're not there to be it's a type of mindset to do numbers and management doesn't marry well with bedside manners.
No,
and that's
I get that.
But that's what I'm saying. You tend to find that those people are kind of cunts because that's what they're into is numbers and very sterile.
My issue is that those fuckers see all this money, see all the clapping, right? I hated all that clapping shit.
It's bollocks.
It's all bullshit, and I hate the Tories, right? See what little money is going to the fucking NHS. Those fuckers are the ones taking the money as well. I'm like, what? I could fucking rant on this
because you can
days,
pay well for your job, but there's different levels of skill involved at different positions.
Now, as I say, this is my personal experience of what happened, and I was fucking disgusted with we're not telling you anything, and I'm like, and it was a fucking junior doctor. It wasn't even the boss. Delegation, and I'm going, no, hold on a second. We as a family have a fucking right to know. So why weren't we told anything? That bit escapes me. I do not know any. And as I say, I know numerous people who work in that hospital, but none of them were authorised to go into that ward because, as I say, just with COVID and all that shit.
It's so fucking weird because see, whenever Finito was having Finn, and it was horrific, horrific. None of the fucking it's kind of weird because I was trying to we had to go through all sorts with them. We had meetings and all with the fucking hospital, and we're like, this is what these people did. And they were like, oh, fuck, that should be, blah, blah. But it's like the doctors and the nurses see blood and guts all day, every day. So there's like a desensitization to it. Do you know what I mean? They don't see it in human terms anymore. They're like, oh, it's just the job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they have this like fucking mentality where it's like, just power through another day at the office type of thing. And I think it's like one of those, because you want a doctor and a nurse with like loads of experience, but at the same time, that experience sometimes makes you hardened because you kind of have to be, especially being like, imagine being on the maternity ward. I'm pretty sure all those women have seen a fucking child dead, being born, stillborn. Like that shit would traumatize you. So you can understand there's a certain wall needs to be put up, but at the same time, and their fucking job's stressful. I cannot fucking do it, and nor will I ever do it because I just don't have the mentality for it. It's a rock, but at the same time, they still have to have that sort of empathy. That needs to be still sort of fucking reserved for you so that you can communicate with people. And at the end of the day, if you know better, if you're more informed, you're less likely to stop. You're going to stop ringing them every 2 fucking seconds. Go and give me an answer. Whereas they go, yes, all they probably could have done is a fucking 45-minute phone call on a Monday. And that probably would have kept it. This is what we're doing at the week and all this fucking thing. Any questions, give us a shout. Or a fucking email address, anything. But again, it's such a fucking... Because I think it's like, if you're not in the fucking position of being in the hospital, because there's so much... It's like, when you see people... I see people acting like ball bags in everyday life, and you go, wonder what the fuck's going on to make them be that way. So you kind of wonder what the fuck's going on in the background. With all the doctors, the fucking, do you know what I mean?
Under normal circumstances, you'd be getting 2 visitations a day, and then what would have happened is that when we would have been visiting, and like a doctor or something come in, and maybe they'd say, "Could you step out, please?" Whatever.
Aye.
But then when they would leave, you'd maybe grab them and go, "Can you?" And then they'd tell you.
Because there's no face to face. It's like the internet. You can say whatever the fuck you want. You're not gonna...
The most information that we received, so we would Skype. We would Skype every night. But when you're in hospital, you get, especially for what he went through, you're getting harassed like every 20 minutes. Blood pressure, blood test, painkillers, the physio comes in, all this shit. There's so many different things go on. So we'd be Skyping, and then he'd go, wait a second, and then he'd be talking. But I could hear what the doctors were saying to him, but they didn't know we were there. That was the only time we ever got any information. They're basically spying.
Because they're like once I tell you that your responsibility to tell your sons,
which is
and your
bullshit.
And
you cannot expect, especially if someone's in for a fucking, I don't know, if somebody's in for it, they've hurt their ankle or they've got whatever, a bone break or something. That's grand. But when it comes to something that involves your fucking ribs being spread open and 20% of your lung being cut out. And all, and then as well, you need to know did they get everything out? You don't know. Told us. We have no idea. We still don't know.
You could be taking him home and they could be going, "Oh, there's still something in there," and you would never know.
But they weren't explaining why he wasn't going home. We now know why he didn't go home because his lung wasn't inflated enough. because
It has to fill up.
it has to. The rest of it has to do the job of what's not there anymore. I understand that now. No one told us that, but then and so it's stuff like that there. But anyway, rant over.
So do you want to hear what
He
happened
was
to
well
me?
looked after. Just fucking just. Yeah.
Well, man,
safety management,
I know how you feel.
Sort at your hole,
Mate,
yeah.
I know how you feel. See the day, mate. You think you got it bad? I went into the spar and some fat cunt lifted 6 jambons in front of me, cleared out the jambon shelf. Talk about you think you got it bad? Talk about fucking.
Where was this, Twinbrook?
No, it was up a street. They don't have jambons in Twinbrook, you know that. Fuck's sake. It's a sausage roll made in the paste.
But anyway, that's where I've been.
That's how he's been.
For anybody, I'm trying my best not to have
Well,
a mental breakdown.
here, no, though, that's the cover story anyway, because you don't want to get caught with them 8,000 Richmond mental super kings.
And the reason I'm walking so funny today is because I literally fell down KFL. I am
nothing to do with customs. Nothing.
Shout out to my besties, but lads, seriously. Thank God we brought every time we got too much for us, take a wee sit down.
a wee sip, a wee whiskey flask.
I brought a whiskey flask with me as well.
Oh man, I don't know. Fucking, I just think about this.
I drank so much whiskey recently.
I haven't drank.
That's all I got
anything.
for my birthday.
I used to go. I said to the friend, I was like, I don't drink. I haven't had a drink in ages. It's gotten to the stage now where I'm kind of afraid to because I'll eat a packet of wine gums and I'll book my ring up. No, I'll just be blocked. Yeah. I don't smoke joints anymore. I don't do drugs. No. I'm just a boring cunt. You know, I'm just a boring cunt. Like,
yeah, I mean, I
can't give up music. So that's probably the only thing I have.
Going back to work's gonna be so weird. That's the thing as well. Oh, we should also give a wee shout out
to what?
The Arts Council, shall we?
Oh yes, actually, funny. I was meant to do that right at the start, but then you were fucking chatting up my Alexa.
So we very very
got some funding, separate funding, so I don't have to split it with you as well. So.
That's good. What's yours is yours and what's mine is
It's going to keep us in fishnets and fucking fish fingers until Christmas time.
That's great, yeah. So I was so hard not to be sarcastic whenever I did my gratitude post. No, nothing else. It's just my natural way. But, you know, you don't like to be open.
I don't want to say thank you for anything. Look.
I know. Daddy's getting a new violin.
That's it, yeah.
Buy myself a Batmobile.
I'm gonna get like just a load of samples and replace you.
Yeah.
I'll just pay you to record everything and then I'll fucking. So I'll be it. I'll get the credit I'm deserved.
Yeah. So thank you to the Arts Council of Northern Ireland for throwing us a few quid.
Anything good?
What, my life right now?
No, you up to anything?
Do you know what? I feel like I am. I watched Coming to America last night. Turned it off after half an hour.
Have you ever seen Coming to America?
No, the new one.
Oh right.
The original is in my top 10 films of all time.
It's very fucking strange.
It's on Prime.
Okay. The new one.
They've got the
is Freddie Murphy. Is that
every
Freddie
single
Murphy?
Freddie Murphy. No. They've got the entire original cast is in it. The only person.
But are they all playing different parts? Like is Eddie Murphy playing his dad?
They're all still playing themselves. No, James Earl Jones is in it.
Is he not dead yet? He seems like he should be.
Yeah, well, spoiler alert.
Does he die in it?
No, but the prince has to become king. That's the so basically.
Is this like a long-awaited sequel?
Yeah, it's followed on. So
right.
It starts that he's still Prince Hakeem.
Oh right, okay. He's not
but
doing the backflips anymore.
But Wesley Snipes is in it. He's a war criminal army general type character. Apparently the most hung man in Africa, as the song would go. Oh, there's a lot of music in it. But no, it was really funny for the first wee while because I was like, there's so many callbacks. They have literally
start milking it too much.
Do you know the guy who's like the master of ceremonies, and then he's got
she is your queen to be.
He's in it, and then he sings again, and then they go back to Queens, and the barber shop's still there, and I'm like,
I always love that scene because when they cut the guy's hair, and he's not actually cutting it, he's just fucking. He's that'll be $8.
Yeah, but then it's really funny because it's like they come into the barber shop and then. And all the old boys are like, hey, it's good Dan.
Good day.
And then there's a young lad in the shop, or in the seat in the barber shop, and he's like, he makes some joke, and he's a black guy who makes some joke about all the orphans with flies or something on a charity, like a choker box type joke. And the three of them are just like, all the old boys are like, get the fuck out of here. I gotta whoop your ass, boy. Because it's like they were making racist jokes about Hakeem and Simi, but then he made one, and they were like, "No, that's not right. Get the fuck out of here." But no, it was. I mean, I'll probably try and watch it again. But it felt like I was like, they've literally just done this just for something to do, as opposed to there being a
It's
purpose.
so fucking. There's so much shit coming out now. Like
Yeah.
shit. It's like, but I was watching it was like this fucking 20-minute like YouTube or Facebook video about nostalgia, and they're saying it. Oh, get it down, you big girl. Go on. Oh, Mick's getting every last drop out of that water bottle. Tell you what. 2 weeks in the Spanish fucking jail will do that to you. But no, I was watching the thing about nostalgia, and it was basically looking at Lion King, and what they were saying is they're trying to like, basically, it's like just say your granny died, and you loved her, and you have all these fond memories of her, and you're like you want her back, and you want this, that, and the other, and then they're like, well, we'll reanimate your granny for you. And you have her back, and then you're like, it's not the same. But not only
She
that,
doesn't smell the same.
just hang a wee fucking her earrings or those car air fresheners. Just, but he says fucking, so your granny comes back and it's not her. She's dead. Like she's gone. She's been reanimated. So not only is this not what you wanted in the first place, but it's also now wrecking the memories you had of her because now you've got this weird smelly fucking granny in your fucking your house with car air fresheners for earrings.
Those types of films are weird. It's like there's one I don't think I ever want them to do. Big Trouble in Little China. I think it's just it was too much of the time. I don't think you could. There's
What's his name? Jack Burton.
Jack Burton.
That's it.
What a film. But no, I'll probably watch it again. But nah, I'll give it. No. I love Come to America. Like I said, it's my top 10 films of all time. I adore that film.
It's a great film. That's why when you say
Trading Places is great. You see, you're right. I feel like you're either one or the other though.
No, I like both.
No, but
do you know why? Because you get to see Jamie Lee Curtis's frontage.
It was something.
She's pert.
Do you know the scene in True Lies? Jamie Lee Curtis.
That's what Arnie, isn't it?
Dance with me.
No, I've never seen True Lies.
You've never seen True
Lies.
Oh Jesus!
I think there's only so many cheesy Arnie films you can watch.
Please, you have to go, mate. I swear to God, True Lies
There's
is
so
one
many.
of the greatest Arnie movies.
There'll be so many. Like Fanula will be going. You've never seen True Lies, you fucking dick.
Honestly, Jamie Lee Curtis plays a bored housewife who then goes undercover.
Oh, I think I have seen bits of it. I just remember weird. He's just fighting with Arnie or something.
But then Arnie ends up. He's undercover.
He's undercover and goes as a bored housewife.
So basically, she. All right, spoiler alert.
It's only been out for 45 years.
He works for like CIA or whatever they got, or whoever. She's a bored housewife. Ends up meeting this guy who's a car salesman who pretends to be a fucking like a guy who's
espionage,
James Bond,
James Bondage.
But then Arnie basically thinks he's like, is she cheating on me or something or whatever? So then he sets up this meet, and she comes into this room, and he's all darkened out. Then he has a voice recorder where he plays like certain phrases.
Oh, right. Like, so he's trying to catch her out.
And then so she does a sexy dance for him and stuff. But like she really properly gets into it and all. She's really awkward at the start, but she really
loosens up.
But then it's like dance with me slowly, and then he's like, and then he has to, and then he drops the recorder, and then it's really funny, but it's like it's one of the fucking sexiest scenes in all the cinema.
I'll be watching that tonight.
It's unreal.
I'll go on the wank bank.
It is tremendous. But then they end up, it all comes out, and yeah. Anyway,
it sounds like a weird. It's like that film The Smiths. Do you see where like Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt?
Oh yeah,
they're both like fucking.
That's shit.
It sounds like that's what it could have been. Or no,
True Lies is
The Smiths could have been
much better. But yeah, it's a great film. I implore you to go watch it.
I've been watching fucking a load of podcasts like Ricky Gervais show, rewatching them all.
Yeah,
and fucking just laugh my bollocks off the whole way through.
Those three as a well, him and Stephen Merchant are just amazing together. They're really, that's why their writing's so good. It's interesting that Stephen Merchant hadn't anything to do with Afterlife. Is that what it's called? The new one? Have I got that wrong? It is Afterlife. Yeah.
It slipped the mind there.
I really love the show. What do you call it?
Do you ever see the first thing I ever seen Stephen Merchant in was Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Well, I'm barely fucking talking there. Where he's only in it for like fucking 2 minutes. He's a chef, and he's like he can't fit through any of the doors, and he's just he just comes in. He's always talking about this fucking chicken. He's like hammering it in the background now, That's the first thing I ever seen Stephen Merchant in.
Oh. No, he's very good. I never forget the day I almost met Stephen Merchant.
The Merchant?
No, I was doing a show at the Indigo at the O2 in London. It was a live wrestling podcast, and I was performing at it, and there was a load of WWE guys who were there who were guests, and then we were in rehearsals, and then these people came to the door, and one of the wrestlers who was working on the show with us went to the door because he's like, "Oh, there's Stephen Merchant," and went to chat to him. Then he came back, and he's like, "Oh, what's the crack?" He's like, "Oh, he's shooting a film soon," and he was just doing like a wee bit of a recce. What he was there for was, you know, the film Wrestling with My Family.
No,
Have you ever heard of it?
No.
So there's a wrestler, Paige, famously had a porn tape leaked.
Oh yeah, I remember her.
So there's a film about her, but The Rock's in it,
Okay.
and Stephen Merchant was the executive producer on it.
Okay.
And then, so that's what they were there for. They were there because they were going to shoot it in the O2 during Monday Night Raw
Okay.
being filmed, because then The Rock was going to come out and cut a promo and this, that, and the other.
Do the bits.
And
Two
no,
birds,
he
two
doesn't
birds
cut a
with one
promo.
stone.
No, they were gonna. That's what Rock doesn't cut a promo on it. They were gonna film aspects of it because they needed the crowd.
Aye.
So that's what I.
Surely you would just go to fucking WWE and say, give us some background footage. No, because they'll have all
No,
that.
no, they needed somebody to be So the person they got a girl to play the part of Paige.
Oh, right.
So they needed an actual fucking audience. It's like when that film A Star Is Born with Lady Gaga and your man Bradley Cooper. They had to shoot part of it at Glastonbury. So they got one of the small stages where there would be like a few thousand people, and then they brought Bradley Cooper out for like 20 minutes and got him to sing a song.
Okay.
And then they recorded it, and then that did for concert footage.
Oh.
You know, so some of these things have to be done. Like, I don't think anybody in the crowd knew what the fuck was going on. They were just like, "Oh, somebody's singing a nice song."
Like, is that the one where it was like he had like over 21 number ones or something like that there?
Aye.
Like the promo for it? 'Cause I was like, who the fuck's this guy? I
have
never heard
no
of this cut in my
idea.
life.
I have no idea.
What
But,
here,
go ahead, sir.
just say, you have to watch Spinal Tap now.
Yeah, I do.
Because,
R.I.P.
yeah, because fucking Ian Faith is dead now. Fucking, man.
Well,
It's...
I might watch it. I know I'll watch it this week.
No, you'll have to watch it here so I can record you watching
record my.
and because you'll piss yourself.
I'll be one of them viral
Okay.
YouTube videos. You know, like you ever see like American guy watches Father Ted.
Aye.
So this would be musician watches.
I was thinking I need to fucking come up with some ideas for like content. I was thinking about like if we sit down and do like do stuff like that, you know, like Mick watches something he's never seen, I watch something I've never seen, we'll watch fucking, or we could do something like
That means spending time together.
I know, but that's what we're here
Oh,
for.
it's been a nice month off.
Yeah, no, I was thinking we should do like real random fucking videos where like we write the soundtrack to like a birthing video or something. Do like something really fucked up.
Wait
like
till I
that.
get my Helix.
Right,
Oh
okay.
yeah, I'm getting a new pedal board, and it's like a fucking spaceship.
Because when the baby comes out, you could do a wah. Wah.
Well, I can do WAS already, but this thing is just.
It's just a fucking hoverboard.
I've watched so many like tutorials on this board. I'm just like, oh my
You can
god.
literally, have you seen how you can hook it up to the internet and just download like,
Yeah.
or like this is the Edge, and
No,
you
but
just
the thing
download
is-
all his
that's
shit.
the thing as well that I didn't realize about that one is that it has every amp that's ever been made is on file, so you can still pick any tone you want and then just pick a random. You can just go like a Hendrix or a Clapton and just go and just pair the
And
two
dial it.
and just dial it in. I cannot wait, mate. I swear to God, it'll just be me for days, just with headphones in, just fucking. I'll come out of it just wide eyed, going. It's like I've seen the light.
Your mummy's just in the background going, why can't he just be up there wanking like a normal man, like a normal teenager?
So no, I can't wait to get it, and then I can't wait to get looping, because that's what I really legit want to see that when I get that loop station. Is legit be able to loop with us live,
Probably.
because there's so much more than we could do.
No, there's it's fucking stuff now really, because my
we're
delay,
doing the Trooper, by the way.
the Trooper.
I have been playing that so much recently. I want.
Well,
to do
what
the
part
Trooper.
have you been playing?
No, I've been trying to solo it. I'm doing all. No,
You
see
doing
that.
the melody line?
So see
and
that. That's easy.
all?
The solo bit is mental but doable.
No, I fucking. It's so funny hearing you like go, oh, the Trooper, and it's like, am I 16 again?
No,
like,
I know, I
like,
know.
Fucking.
No, but it's like when you it's because it's this happens to me all the time. I hear songs. No, I've known Iron Maiden for years. There was a cover band who used to play in a bar I worked in 15 years ago, who always did Maiden covers, and they did an amazing one of Run to the Hills. But there's songs that I listen to from years ago that I listen to now, and now I go, oh, here, hold on a second, I could do that, because I never used to think, oh, I could play that on the violin. Now I go, there's literally nothing I can't play.
You have more of a working understanding.
You know, exactly. I know how to, like, you know, what I can do.
Because funny, the truth, there's a couple
That's
more.
That's really arrogant, by the way. There's nothing I can't do. Well, do you know what?
There's loads of Iron Maiden tunes that I would say that we could do much better.
Yeah.
Like so, Hallowed Be Thy Name. Never hear that? It's got the finger picking at the start type of thing, and then No More Lies is there.
There's so many metal songs that because you've always said, like, you know, metal is fucking classical. It basically is.
Well, a lot of fucking classical players,
melody wise, but like La Toute Le Monde, I'd love to do that.
Oh, that'd be a good tune.
But then that's one. It's the thing is as well, like,
it's quite it's a niche one, but it's not.
When we have to go back to working, we do have to do an element of mainstream and keep everybody happy. You can't do too much.
I want to finish that Justin Timberlake one. I want to finish that fucking, what do you call that one? Avicii one, because they're fucking easy. It's just the actual format of this is the way we're going to play them. I also want to do that fucking Street Fighter Ken's theme and the Thundercats. Man, that'll be fucking brilliant. See, like, because you have the main groove of fucking that, and then it just people would lose their fucking shit. Well, you know, people between like 30 and 45 might lose their shit. Like,
definitely not in Babel on Saturday.
No.
People are ordering their aviations going,
what
is this?
I couldn't have played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I know. No, definitely. But that's the thing as well. We haven't had any time to. That's people go. You haven't been working for a year. I've
been working harder than I've ever fucking worked.
I spent the first 6 months of lockdown practicing my bollocks off to a point where I was like, oh, I can actually even play violin now, because I couldn't. I blagged it for so long, and now I can. It's one of those ones. It's like when you get a tuner, and you lose your ear, you have to relearn your ear. That was the thing. And the violin forums. Here's another one. So somebody was like, put up a post, and there was this custom made electric violin that this person and their father had made together, and it looked all right. Sorry, we're not on R yet. And he was saying, I'm thinking about putting frets on this violin, just so it's the tuning's more.
Well, it's the opposite, wouldn't it be, if you put frets on a violin? Because the whole point of a guitar, it's an imperfect instrument. Yeah. It doesn't, like, because you've got, there's no frets on a violin, you can literally go up as much as you need to. There wasn't one comment in favour of it. Every single person was like, why don't you just fucking learn to play and tune, mate? Why'd you build the violin? Yeah. And I had to sit there and go, no, because I would get kicked off these forums if I spoke my truth. Instead, what I do is my truth, playing Mick Conlon, just you pointing the finger at some wee cunt with a violin. Fuck you. Instead, what I do is I take a screenshot and then I send it to Fitzy, and then we bitch about it together. Agony, And I'm like, you do your thing, Ranty Mick. Now it's time to talk to Ranty Mick. There's a video series. Because I wanted to do this thing. Because what I was meant to say earlier, with looking at the podcast or looking at the Ricky Gervais show thing, they have like they're talking, but then they have sections like Carl's Diary and all that. And it gives the content. So there was a part I was thinking about where I go and I'll pre-record like a story, and I'll tell a story and edit and all that there. But what we can do is like I'll fucking right now we'll do it, and we'll like I'll hit play and people can watch it, and it wouldn't be boring because you'd watch it on the fucking podcast, but you'd hear it and blah blah blah. But we could do whatever the fuck we want in the background for 3 minutes. But then you could do like a thing, Ranty Mick, where every week you come and you bitch about something, and we'll talk about that. You know, it just seems to, it chops things up. It's very natural to me to rant. I think it's natural for anybody. I'm good at it. Fucking cunt bags really everywhere. Cunt bags everywhere. That's it. I'm gonna rant about your fucking rants. Yeah, that's it. But no, mate. Rants in my pants with Ranty Mick. Getting back to work. That's the thing. Someone said to me, that's what it was. Somebody had put up somewhere about what do you most miss about gigging? And I was like, I most miss the dirty looks and verbal abuse I get whenever people request Wagon Wheel and I tell them to fuck off. Or Ed Sheeran or Jimmy T. No, not Jimmy T. What's Jerry Cinnamon? No, Jerry Cinnamon. Then there's the other lad, Lewis Capaldi. They asked me for that stuff. I never heard of Lewis Capaldi. I don't know. They're all very accomplished in their own right. More money than I do. But well, that's what I miss about the fucking working the money. Actually, no, I like seeing it with hindsight now. Because I don't want to go out for a fucking night out. I don't want to go on the piss because I have really no interest anymore. I would like just to go to work for a few hours, just to get out of the house, and then come back and be like, you know, she'll have to have made the dinner for a day.
I should really put a post up about this. See, for anybody who's been emailing us about their wedding and we haven't got back to you, I apologise. That is
your wedding's going to be cancelled anyway, so fucking...
No, but that is my fault because I handle a diary and I've just been too damn busy with too much shit going on. And also, every time the assembly announces anything and they come on the news, our inbox just goes like that there. Because then people go, oh, it can happen. And I see that, the amount of times... And it's not the clan's fault. Jesus Christ, no, they're entitled. They want to book us and we want to play. Oh my God, it's them fucking muppets up in the hill who keep confusing people as to what's happening. So yeah, I apologise for anybody who is in limbo about us. I will get to you this week. I just haven't had the chance.
Because I used to do the diary and then just life took over.
It is a melt. Because that's the thing as well. Then, because what I have to do is when we get a booking. And then I go, right, we can't do that. Then I have to go to you, and then you have to go to Fanula, and she can't come back to you. And it's just, it's
yeah, I think once because Fanula's going to look to go, she's going to either go part-time eventually or self-employed eventually. But see what you do, we're paying her to fucking do the diary. Yeah. And then, because if she's working from home and doing her own thing, she'll be able to go, yes, they can and can't do this.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's not like it's a 5 day, 6 day, 7 day a week thing. It is literally when you get an email. It is time management. The email comes in, and I go, I'll get that later. We'll get that later. And then the next thing you know, you have 20 email inquiries about weddings, and then it's like, especially in this last year because of rescheduling,
all condensed in the fucking 8 months.
I swear to God, I would not be surprised if we are working flat out all summer, which I would love. I would love it, but it's crazy. But that's not our fault. It's not the clan's fault. I'm just
it's a weird idea.
Sorry.
But here, man, I'm cutting this short because I'm not uploading a fucking hour-long podcast to YouTube because it takes fucking ages. And my fucking laptop, thinking it was good at the time, bought it. Fucking, it takes about an hour and a half to render the fucking videos. Yeah. So we'll wrap it up here. But thanks very much, everybody. Welcome Mick back. Guess who's back?
Yeah. Patreon.com/String Ninjas for all the feed pics you want.
That's it.
Apple Podcast, rate, review, Spotify, share on your Instagram story. Teletext, hit the blue button for the Bamboozle quiz.
And if anybody's looking at any fakes, drop us a wee line. Mick will get you sorted out. You got a load of t-shirts. You got a load of fucking fake Adidas bottoms as well. Fake Adidas button-ups. They're coming back apparently.
After dinner, I did a shit.
That's right. Soon after dessert, I did another. Yo. See a daddy does or something.
Saddy has Adidas.
But so we need to fucking try and practice something now anyway.
Yeah, I need to remember how to play violin.
Mate, don't even. I haven't picked up a guitar in weeks. My fingering
has
gotten...
See these?
Chubby digits.
We call these the money makers. Why? Because they call the money shot. Go to the advert.